was just having a conversation with somebody about the upcoming SNAP and WIC benefits getting cut for the month of November, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you live under a very privileged rock. Anyway, this person asked, do you really want your tax dollars going to feed people who can't afford food? Yeah, no, that's exactly what I want, actually. Like, I think, personally, everybody deserves to eat. And I'm just a little bit confused how the same party who is forcing all of these babies to be born, these super cute babies deserve to live, but then they don't want to feed them.
Yeah, so for me, if you were to ask me, would you rather buy tomahawks, for example, or feed families that are struggling? I would choose the latter. Like, I don't know about you, but I would choose the latter. And I don't care whether, like, you tell me, oh, these people are lazy, get a job. I agree with you, but those babies, those children, they are not the ones that are going to feed themselves, right? And they didn't ask for any of this. So yes, in fact, I would rather that my tax dollars goes towards helping families in need than sending tomahawks or than buying F1 jets or whatever, jets. Yeah, that's just me though.
And they don't want to house them, and they don't want to give them health care. So then they're going to die anyway. They're going to die. Children are going to starve to death. And you're asking me if I think they deserve to eat. Personally, I think if you don't believe every person on the planet deserves food, you're an evil person. An evil, evil person. So I'm going to go feed my baby because I can afford it. And then I'm going to go buy food for another person's baby because they can't afford it. And if you aren't doing that, whenever you have the means to do that, you are a terrible person. Anyway, I'm not going to talk to that person anymore. Have a good day.
Yeah, so I don't agree with her closing statements that, like, you should buy someone else's baby food, right? Because you don't know someone else's financial situation. But aside from that, I agree with everything else she said. I think babies deserve to be fed. And I think that it's unacceptable that we have a society now where, because of a government shutdown, families that have fallen on hard time are not able to feed their babies. Now, I get it. Like, SNAP is supposed to just be temporary. You're not meant to build your life around that. It's just meant to be like a bridge until you can pick yourself back up. Right? I get that. And because of this government shutdown now, people that have fallen on hard times, they are panicking, right? They are snapping, and no pun intended on that one. But they are literally snapping because they don't know how they're going to feed their babies. They don't know how they're going to provide for their families. And I think that needs to be talked about. That needs to be completely blown up, in my opinion. And people need to really be talking about it. Like, we shouldn't be talking about tomahawks. We shouldn't be talking about any White House ballroom renovations. Really, when we have children that are going without food, that should be the number one priority. In any budget, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, they should be able to agree on that one thing at the very least. Comment down below if you agree with me or if you disagree with me. Comment down below, let me know why you disagree with me. Why do you think that babies who didn't vote, they don't know what politics is, right? So let me know why exactly you think that they shouldn't get food. They didn't get to choose their parents either, by the way. So let me know down in the comments below why you might think they don't deserve food. And now we're going to dive into another clip here where Caroline Levitt is actually asked for more details surrounding this SNAP benefits. And let's hear what she has to say.
Can you help clear up some confusion about SNAP benefits? Because
Sure.
The president just posted that they will only be given out when the...
I'm sorry, but like, why is it that this lady, she always has like this smug air about her? And it's nothing personal. Like, I don't know her. She doesn't know me. But you just notice that she's almost like far removed from humanity. Almost like as if she's just such a high-class lady, cannot be bothered to speak to the peasants. At least that's the impression that she gives with her facial expressions.
article left Democrats open the government and not before. But just yesterday, the administration said it would comply with the court order to expend the full amount of SNAP contingency funds by end of business day yesterday. So did the administration distribute that money or defy that court order?
No, the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have...
Yeah, but it's going to take some time to receive this money, but then is your salary going to take some time for you to get? Why is it that like their salary comes in like clockwork, but then people that actually... Because that's what our tax dollars are for, right? So why is it that your salary which is paid for by our tax dollars, you don't need to wait for it. But then, because I would rather that families that are falling on hard time, they don't have to wait for their benefits, their temporary benefits, until they're able to get themselves back on their foot. I would rather that they don't have to wait, but instead maybe you wait for your income, your high paycheck.
Force the administration into a very untenable position. We are digging into a contingency fund that is supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, for war. And the president does not want to have to tap into this fund in the future, and that's what he was referring to.
Excuse me, ma'am, but again, for war, we shouldn't be fighting any wars because your people are not being taken care of. You should focus on your people. So you lost me once you said that you're saving the money for wars. It's an emergency, right? And you need to make sure that your people are fed, especially the ones that are falling on hard times. You need to make sure that you're taken care of before you're talking about any wars, talking about going to Nigeria or going to other countries to go and police them, but you can't take care of your own people. Make it make sense, fellas. It makes no sense.
To in his Truth Social post. So the Department of Agriculture, as for the latest SNAP payment in the judge's order, put out guidance to states today on how to get that money to the recipients of SNAP, but it's going to take some time. The best way to get the full amount of SNAP benefits to those beneficiaries is for Democrats to reopen the government. So to anyone who is a SNAP beneficiary...
You know what's going to make them reopen the government faster is if their paychecks stopped rolling in like clockwork. Watch and see how fast they're going to get the government opened up.
At home, who needs that assistance. And the president was just saying, this is for people who are truly needy, who need food, who need this assistance from the United States government. Democrats are holding it up and making it difficult for the administration to get those payments out the door. So if you are at home and you want your SNAP benefits, call the Democrats and tell them to reopen the government.
Logging that contingency.
It sounds to me like these guys are using the fact that because they probably figure that Democrats are the ones that are pro-SNAP, right? Not, let's pretend like as if these guys are not on the same team, right? Because I think that they're all working together to our detriment. So let's pretend for a second that the Democrats, they're the ones that they love us, right? They want to make sure that we get our SNAP. And it looks like this administration, they're actually holding that hostage to be able to get the Democrats to agree with them. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I'm just...
Fund for the future if this shutdown lingers on?
Look, the president does not want to have to continue to dip into a contingency fund that doesn't even have enough money, by the way, to fund the full program. It takes $9 billion to get the full scale of the benefits out the door. This contingency fund only has about $5 billion in it. So again, Democrats need to reopen the government so we can get these benefits out the door for people who truly need them.
Wow. So if you're an American and you're not up in arms right now, considering the number of billions, the hundreds of billions that have been sent out to fight, right, and to police other countries, but then they cannot come up with $4 billion to take care of their own people, their own populace, who have been paying taxes. Now I get it, like, and I'm all for going to work. Heck, I work. I believe that everybody should be working, but I also understand that sometimes the unexpected happens and you might fall on hard times where you rely on this SNAP. And as such, you should have that available because that is why the heck you've been paying into the system all these years. And so if they cannot come up with $4 billion, but then they have billions for tomahawks and what else that they're doing, right? You should be up in arms. If you're not up in arms right now, then I don't know what rock you're living under. But I really want to hear from you down in the comments below. Let me know about what you think about this. Let's chop it up on a reel. And until next time, peace.